All right, guys, back to work. No, we're not done just yet. We got one more day left this week. First day of December, coming in hot tomorrow. It's been an incredible week this week. Let's get some more good winning trades to finish off the week tomorrow. I'm going to warn you, though. Tomorrow might be the hardest day of the week so far. We got Powell tomorrow morning. Got a bunch of ranges on the charts. That's all right, though. I got a pretty good game plan to help us make some money on Friday. And as always, I'm going to cover my favorite trades in the video tonight. You guys have a game plan to make some moolah on finally Friday trading session. I'm going to cover all the details in the video tonight. Before we jump in, though, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you like these lessons, do me a favor here tonight. Hit that like button for me. Give me a shout out down in the comment section. Thank you so much for tuning in. But enough of the intro. Friday is not going to trade itself. Where are the best trades setting up for Friday? Man, what a month. What an incredible month of November. But let's get into it here tonight. Starting off tonight on the Nasdaq and the triple Qs, I got the Emini and the SPY. Remember, I like to use the 60-minute time frames to plan our trades for the following day, and then we'll drill down to some tick charts later on in the video. I like to use tick charts for entry timing. So we'll start off on the big picture on the 60 minutes, and we'll drill down to some tick charts, and we'll put the plan together to time the perfect entries for Friday's trading session. What are the 60-minute charts telling us right now? Well, we're still bullish overall. We're definitely still bullish overall. Been watching these ranges on the 60-minute all week here. We basically got the range reversal we had talked about in last night's video. If you watched last night's video, we got that range reversal, and now it looks like buyers are trying to rotate back up on these highs here. Now, that's a very simple way to look at it. I think the tick charts are going to make this a little bit easier to time the entries. We'll grab a look at the tick charts here in a moment. But before we do that, though, and talk about the entry tactics and ways to trade this rotation back higher again, let's look at the schedule for tomorrow, because there are three things on my radar tomorrow that I want to make sure you are aware of. First of all is the ISM Manufacturing Index. This is one of the two big news reports of the week that we know about tomorrow, right? 10 o'clock Eastern time, ISM, be aware of that. Probably the biggest news of the day tomorrow is Jerome Powell's speech at 11 o'clock Eastern time. Everybody's wondering when will be the first rate cut early next year. We've had some back and forth. Some Fed speakers have said no rate cut. Some Fed speakers have said heck yeah to the rate cut. So we'll see what J-POW says tomorrow. I would imagine the markets are waiting to hear what he says, and that definitely is a big wild card. We'll talk about why I say that here in a moment. And the third thing for tomorrow is tomorrow's a Friday. Remember, anytime we have a Friday, I have that Friday mindset. Fridays get low volume in the afternoons. Fridays love to run into the afternoons. So my mindset on a Friday morning is get into trades early, remove risk, take some small profit, but try to leave a position open on a Friday afternoon, especially with Powell again at 2 o'clock Eastern time, because Fridays love to run. We get some of our best trades early on Fridays and then run into Friday afternoon. So those are the three things on my radar for tomorrow. 10 a.m. ISM Manufacturing, 11 o'clock J-POW, and again, that Friday mindset, right? Early in, get rid of that risk, and you know Fridays, they love to run. So try to leave that little piece of position open, because those Friday trades, they can make your entire week. Now back to our charts though, because it's good to know when the news is tomorrow, but the money is made on the charts. Let's now drill down, talk about entry tactics here for tomorrow. We'll start first here on the S&P and the SPY, and we'll wrap things up tonight on the Nasdaq and the triple Qs here. Well, we got the range reversal we talked about in last night's video. We were way up top last night and expecting that range reversal back down. Had a hell of a day today in our trade room. It was great to see members making money in the morning room this morning. But you'll notice what happened, right? You'll notice what happened, right? They failed that rotation off the high. And at this point right now, it seems like buyers have one thing on their mind right now, and that's to punch this thing back up and take out that big move we saw earlier up at 45.97. Let's drill down the tick charts now. The tick charts are going to make it a bit easier for us to plan the entries here for tomorrow. This is a 7,000 tick chart. You'll see linked up there in the upper left-hand corner. And as always, that is the 21 EMA, in case you're watching here for the first time. There are three clues on the 60-minute mean, I guess two clues and one variable for tomorrow. The first big clue I see on this is the strong moves going higher. We have a big strong move from earlier on in the week and a very strong move going higher, of course, this afternoon. Anytime we see a strong move going higher like this, we expect, remember, it's a bull market overall, we expect a pullback and a retest of that high. Strong move going higher. We expect a pullback and a retest of that high. So buyers have all of the momentum on their side, and it kind of seems pretty obvious right now, but buyers are trying to go back up, right, and take out that 45.97. Now, that's the simple way to look at it. The second big clue is this range right now. If I zoom out a little bit right now, it's kind of messy, right? But we get a big kind of expanding triangle and the market simply rotating back and forth, right, inside this triangle. You'll notice, right, we're right up around the high of that triangle. Also, too, we talk a lot about this stuff in our free video classes, right? Pendulum swings off of that low, that range right in the middle, the amount below the range, the amount above the range. We call that range rotation. We talk a lot about this stuff in our free video course. So the bottom line is we're trying to punch this thing up and take out that high, but we're running into quite a bit of resistance overhead. That's a bit of a problem for the buyers here for tomorrow, but we'll talk about a way to trade around that. The third thing, though, is the Powell speech. Right? The Powell speech is a huge variable. It's easy to think the markets are going to wait to see what he says for tomorrow, and therefore I have to anticipate maybe some ranges. Some are right on top of this. This is the prior week close right there. So I want to be prepared tonight for a range going to tomorrow. You know, I see really 4 different scenarios I want to be prepared for tomorrow. One scenario, my favorite scenario right now, be a pullback and try to buy as low as we possibly can. You know, we're trying to make our way higher. We're running into resistance. So I've got my eyes on some pullbacks here right now to trap some bears in, some bear traps, and finish off that move going higher. I will certainly talk about a range bound market and put that plan together for tonight as well. And we have to also think this market may simply sprint, right, and take out that run higher. That's the fourth kind of game plan I want to make sure we are ready for. So my favorite trade here for tomorrow is to, again, we're trying to go higher. We're trying not to buy high right now. My favorite trade for tomorrow is really all about bear traps off support levels. Support level, support level, support level. I would like to get a pullback going in, get underneath this 21 moving average, use what I call a failure pattern, right? You learn this in the free video course, right? A failure pattern. Let the bears try a couple times and ultimately use their pain, use their stops to fuel that move going higher. Now, I have no crystal ball for tomorrow, right? So all I know right now is I've got that level, I have this level, I have this level. So really, that pattern, that 2-try failure, it may pull back deeper, we go lower. Remember, the market's trying to rotate, right? Trying to rotate. I'm trying to avoid buying high right now. Let it pull back. Get those bears trapped in. Use their, as my first mentor would always say, use their pain and buy into their pain. It could be there. It could be here. And remember, in the video course, I call these failure patterns, right? Failure patterns. If we're lucky enough and we go all the way down and take out the other side of this big range, looking for the long back up again, if we're lucky enough to get that one, we might get one of those failure into pullback combination. So that would probably be the best one right there, right off of that low. It'd be a bear trap failure and then into that pullback as we try to make our run back up. But that's my goal. Buy nice and low right now. Use the bear's pain, right? Use their stops to fuel that move going higher. Now, speaking of going higher, if we do end up running higher, I simply want to buy as low as I can. And the way you do that is a bear trap. Bear traps are pretty easy patterns. They are going to be a higher high in price and a trap below that low. Again, these are called bear traps. Higher high in price and that trap below that low. That will kind of get us in as low as we possibly can as we try to go up and take out that high. Now, if Powell says something that everyone likes tomorrow, we may see something like this, right? We may see this market. It may take off to the upside. We may get that bear trap and we may really rip and run higher. If that's the case, all of that bullish momentum, what I'll do now is look left, find some trend lines off these highs, bring them up off that low and find that channel. And remember, a lot of momentum. I want to be a buyer. I just don't want to buy really high. A lot of times these trend lines like this, they'll start acting as support down here, right? So what I'll do is same thing. I'll wait for that pullback. And the goal is get underneath that 21 EMA and think about that pain trade. Bears try a couple times, and we light those stops up with that failure into pullback and retest of that high. So if we go higher, it's those bear traps, profit off at the high. If it really blasts going higher, get that deep pullback, pain trade, right? Trap those bears in, failure, pullback, back to retest that high. All right, now, if you're watching for the first time right now, this might be a brand new language for you, but don't you worry. I teach all of these patterns and I have hundreds of examples, pain trades, bear traps, failure, pullback combinations. I got it all included in our free video classes. What I'll do is I'll put a link up here for you in the upper right-hand corner. Grab that link that popped up. Take that free video course because the strategy I teach in that video series will teach you a simple trick we use in our morning trade room to know exactly where the best winning trades are going to be that day. Then I'll show you how to drill down and find 4 different entry patterns to help kickstart you making money. The markets are way too good right now not to be making consistent money. If you're tired of missing the best trades, or if you're struggling to qualify for one of those prop firm funded accounts, hit that link up top there. Take that free course. It's perfect for someone trying to make the jump into full-time trading. The whole thing is outlined. I teach the entire strategy in that video series. And also be aware too, if you can't grab that link up top there, I'll put all the important links we talk about tonight down in the description of the YouTube video. I'll also put a link for my Twitter feed. I post a lot of updates on Twitter during the day. So if you're on Twitter, you'll find my Twitter feed down there in the description as well. So grab the link up top or down bottom in the description. You will love that free video course. So now I think we've kind of fleshed out a lot of the core kind of ways I'm going to trade this, right? Buying pullbacks off support, using sellers, pain, failure patterns, and again, if we do make that run going higher. Now, one question I had a lot on the channel the last couple of days is, if we run up, how would I sell back down again? This is where a crown reversal is the short, right? So as we go up, buyers try once, buyers try twice. This is a crown reversal pattern. We talked a lot about this pattern last night in the video, if you recall. It's a lower low in price and that bull trap above that high. We had that gorgeous crown reversal. This is a bearish, right, crown reversal, right? Bears try once, bears try twice. We talked about this pattern last night. I know a bunch of you guys made a pretty good penny on that reversal this afternoon. That is a crown reversal off of the low, right? This would be a crown reversal off of the high, all right? So if we were to find our way all the way up around the high, remember, it's one big range, right? It's one big range right now. So again, it's those bear traps on the way higher. And then if we start struggling up here, we can look for those buyers once, buyers twice, lower low in price, right? That trap and back down. And again, I will still look for, find that channel, right? Find that trend line, find that channel. And then again, if we can get underneath that moving average, trap those bears in, get that pain trade, right? That failure into pullback, back up to retest that high. And I realize I'm just kind of drawing the screen right now, but again, I've got a lot of examples of these inside the free video course. It's that bear trap on the way up. It's that crown reversal, 2 tries for the buyers, run stops, back down again, failure, pullback combination. That's the sequence I'm looking for as we go higher here. The final part of this is the potential range here for tomorrow. Now, in all reality, the range will probably be the easiest to trade, because if we do go sideways, this, of course, that blue line right there is the prior week close. As we get closer to the weekend, right, we usually start seeing that prior week close act a bit like a magnet. So wouldn't surprise me if we see a range somewhere here. Now, we talk about this a lot in the free video course, but in case you haven't taken that yet, when I have a bull market, a bullish move into a trading range, all we do is basically, it's kind of the same game plan. We wait for a pullback. We look for ways to get underneath the moving average. Remember, we're not a bear market, right? We're a bull market trying to go up and take out that high. So as we pull back here right now, I'm not going to try to pick the bottom. Okay, one thing about me is I'm not in the business of picking tops and bottoms. It's very difficult to tell how far that move will go. So instead of trying to pick that bottom, what I'll do is I'll simply wait for the bears to try a couple times. And once they do, then I know exactly where their stops are. I know exactly where their fuel is now, right, to run this market going higher. Now, this is a great example of where knowing how market structure like this can help you make more money. If I can get a failure or a bear trap right underneath that low, the targets on this are pretty simple. One is back to the other side of that range, okay? And the other, we talk a lot about pendulum swings, right? Pendulum back and forth. We then can move, right, to measure the amount below. We can project now above, and that creates another easy target. Remember, if you want to make more money in trading, don't trade more often. Just get better at holding on to your winners. And, that's not easy at first, but as you get more experience, you work with me some more in our morning trade room, you'll get pretty good. Once you start seeing those ranges, you'll go, all right, I know where the first target is. I'll sit on hands. I'll use handcuffs or duct tape or whatever it takes to hold on to that runner, because a couple times a week you get that big run. And remember, tomorrow's a Friday, right? So early in, get rid of the risk, and that could be a great example of holding that runner into the close, potentially all the way up to that 97 high here for tomorrow. So we're going to keep an eye out and see if we get a range in there. That wouldn't surprise me whatsoever, because we've got Powell at 11 o'clock Eastern time. What did I forget? Did I forget anything on the S&P? I think we got the bases pretty much covered here. We know how to trade it as it goes higher. We know how to trade it as it goes lower. We know what to expect if it goes sideways in a range. And again, remember, if it goes into a range here, it may run all the way down. Same thing, right? Low of a range, keep on buying that sucker back up. Use that pain trade, that failure trade. And again, I'm kind of scribbling on the chart right now, but you'll learn more about that in the video course. All right, looking good. S&P is also to go. How about the Nasdaq here? The Nasdaq is quite a bit different, but it's similar. Well, you'll see what I mean here in a moment. Boy, the Nasdaq, they definitely got that range reversal, right? That bull market overall, right? We're still bullish overall. That's the easy part. The amount above, the amount below, right? We definitely got that range reversal. The S&P buyers were just all over it this morning, right? They were not having that reversal. Very, very bullish clue on the S&P. Now, you would think, kind of looking at this chart right away, you would think, okay, now they've got that rotation. Now we should be looking for that run back up, right? Yeah, but be careful though. There's a very strong run down that we saw today, and you guys know this already, right? Whenever we see a strong move in one direction, what do we expect? A pullback and a retest. So I'll tell you, the NASDAQ is very similar in the overall game plan, but the buyers want to rotate higher right now, but that's a really strong move down we saw the last couple of days here. I would think a retest of that low could be in store for tomorrow. Then we get that nice big run back up again. There are three clues here on the NASDAQ. The first one is this big range. This is the range we've been kind of trading all week this week, right? We've had just beautiful rotation back and forth on this range, right? The amount below, the amount above, the amount above, the amount below. So the rotation game has been very good to us this week on the NASDAQ. And I'll tell you right now, you will soon love ranges, because once you learn to trade ranges, and again, you'll learn that stuff in the free video course, but once you learn ranges, it just unlocks so much more ways to make money each day. So we got that one big range, and you'll notice we have this strong run down into this sneaky little range right there. I'll tell you, that little range right there might be the biggest clue here on this chart, because we talked about earlier, if we go higher into a range, what do? If we go higher into a range, we buy underneath the range, right? Because we're bullish. What do you think the game plan is if we go lower into a range? If we go lower into a range, we sell, right, above the range. So when you combine those two together, right, when you combine that very strong move down, and again, whenever we see a strong move like this, we have to respect that momentum, pull back, retest that low. You combine that together now, right, with that range down there. That's why I said, right, now we're bullish overall, but it seems like we should at least prepare for a run back down to retest those lows. So when you kind of put all these clues together, a move back down to retest that low and a run back up into that range, that might be a very, very lucrative start to the month of December for the NASDAQ traders here for tomorrow. One small wrinkle, and we talk about this if you're a student of mine in the trade room. So a lot of times too, whenever we see range breakouts, we'll see a breakout pullback, right? Well, they'll break out, they'll pull back, and they'll go, right? So we may not make it all the way back to that low. This is where I said the S&P and the NASDAQ are similar, right, in a lot of ways, right? I could easily see a bear trap off a breakout pullback. I love the idea of that double bottom bounce off of that low. I'm prepared here if we do run higher. If they run higher, I mean, this could be a very strong sprint up and take out the side of that trading range, because we know that ranges, they love to rotate, right, back and forth here. So a lot of this, right, is going to be very similar, right? If we do pull back, right, and take out the high of that range, I'm not going to try to pick that bottom, but if I see bears coming in trying once to go lower, trying twice to go lower, I'm biased to the long side right now because of the 60-minute chart we looked at a moment ago. There's that pain trade again and back up again. If we run lower, same idea, right? Same idea. Trap those bears in, right? Trap those bears in. Now, if you watched last night's video, we talked about how if we go strong run down, we need that crown reversal. If you watched last night's video, I know a lot of you guys did, because I got a bunch of good emails about this reversal here today. That's your crown reversal, right? That higher high in price. What did we talk about last night, right? If they roll back and retest that low, what do? You trap them in. You don't need a crown reversal. It wouldn't hurt, right? But all you need now is a 2-try failure pattern. We don't need to be as conservative, right, as patient as on the initial move down, right? When you have all that momentum going lower, you got to anticipate that pullback and that retest. We talked about this last night, right, on the video. So beautiful 2-try bear trap crown reversal pattern, we call it, off that low there. I would love to go back, take out that low, trap these bears in, get that failure into pullback combination we talked about on the S&P a few moments ago, right? Could be a failure pattern, a pullback. Sometimes what happens is that failure just rips higher, and we have to get in with a bear trap at that point, right? Remember, bear traps are best for buying as low as you can go. So it might be a failure into pullback, right? It could be a failure into a bear trap. The key is, though, as it starts running back up here, I want to buy as low as I possibly can, right? That's the name of the game. I want to buy as low as I possibly can with a pullback or with a bear trap, as I'm showing you right here. If we were to start running higher here, okay, this is where that bear trap in the deep pullback comes in handy. So if we start rolling higher here, right, we're looking for we're looking for bear traps below those lows. Remember, it's a higher high in price, a trap below that, right? Trap below that low. And then as we start getting higher, we don't want to buy high anymore. We want to buy a nice deep pullback. These are very simple. Just simply think about, look left, find a trend line off those highs, bring it down off that low, right? And then I want to get that pullback off that channel. Oftentimes what I'll do is as we're going higher here, right, like that, right, I'll draw that trend line off the high. I'll bring that channel off that low, right? Look left, find some prior swings, and we oftentimes get the best entry is that first test off the low of that channel. All I'm doing here is again, it's a bear trap on the way higher. But then once we start getting up in, once we start pushing, I don't want to buy high anymore. So now I go out and find that trend line off the high, find that channel, and I'll use any of the entry patterns. I love traps, like I'm showing you right here. It could be a trap pattern below a prior swing. It could be a failure pattern, a pain trade, right? Underneath that moving average, failure into pullback combination. So really any of these can be used off of that low. And remember, if we can get anything off the low of that channel, try to leave a piece of that thing to run, because we know where it wants to go, right? It wants to rotate all the way back up to the other side of that that trading range. All right, guys. The only other variable right now is Powell, right? That's the only other variable right now. So remember, if we do pop up into a trading range, this one is somewhat easy, right? If we do pop into a range now think about that range below. Remember, markets love to break out pullback from previous trading ranges. So if we start, obviously, again, I have no crystal ball, right? Nobody knows what's going to happen for tomorrow. My job tonight is to put some game plans together that we have a roadmap. We're prepared to make money no matter what the market throws at you. At least that's what works best for me and our crew in our morning trade room. But try to get that breakout pullback there. Don't pick that bottom, right? Go in and trap those bears in. Use that pain trade, that failure trade, right? Back up. And like I mentioned earlier, target off the high of that range, right? Use that pendulum swing to find another target. And if I can tomorrow, I will try my best to leave that little piece, that little one contract open, right? And let it run as far as we can here. All right. I think we're looking pretty good. One thing I failed to mention was that V bottom. This will also apply on the S&P. Sometimes what happens is we'll take out these lows. We won't get that 1, 2 we want back up again. Sometimes it'll V bottom right off of that low. And what I basically mean by that is it'll really V bottom fast right off of that low. I don't want to use a 2-try failure way up here. Makes sense, right? Again, I'm going to take out that low. I want to trap in those bears 1, 2, and back up, like right there, right? Like right there, right? Take it out, bears once, bears twice, run those stops like that, right? But if we V bottom, right? If we just bounce hard and we start running higher like that, now it's all about the bear trap. It's all about buying as low as you can. It's amazing how simple that idea is. Just buy as low as you can, right? I know it's so easy to say, but it's difficult. It's difficult when you're trying to buy down here. And you know how it goes, right? The market bounces up and, that lizard brain of mine, it says, come on, dummy, you're going to miss it, right? You're going to miss it. You just don't want to chase it, right? You can't chase it going higher. You have to have that kind of discipline to go, okay, I didn't get the entry I wanted down here. Now let's try to get in as low as I possibly can, because that's where all the smart money is waiting, right? That's where all the money's waiting to get in as low as they possibly can. So when I say buy a V bottom, right, that's what I mean, right? If it V bottoms off of that low, and again, this is the same game plan we'll have for the S&P as well. If the S&P runs all the way down to its low, again, we know the pattern we want, but who knows, right? It may bounce hard off that low, and we'll look for that V bottom. All right, guys, I think that covers all of it. I'm sure I missed a couple here right now, but I do my best in these videos. Tomorrow, though, we're going to get together and we'll fill in all the blanks tomorrow morning in our trade room. I can't think of a better place to learn this stuff than to come out and trade it with us every morning, 8 o'clock Eastern time. I'll put all the important links you guys need in the description of the video. I'll put the free class links. I would definitely recommend start first first with the free video course. Learn the basic strategy. That will get you warmed up and moving in the right direction so you can come out and join us and trade with us and make some money in the morning trade room. I'll put my Twitter feed down there as well in case you guys are on Twitter during the day. If you have any questions or have trouble getting access to our free video classes, always email or call the office or use live chat. We're always here standing by to help out. All right, guys. Tomorrow, finally, Friday, first day of December. Man, what a fantastic month of November. Let's keep the good times rolling for tomorrow. The game plan is all set. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow morning in the morning trade room. If not, we're going back next week. Got a big week next week. If next week is half as good as this week, I'll be a very, very happy trader. In the meantime, get out of here. Enjoy your evening. I'll hopefully see you sometime soon. In the meantime, be well, be nice to each other, and you better be here next time, huh? Adios, amigos. Bye-bye for now.